up, everybody? Here we are. It's us. Cover 4. Monday morning. All smiles. Let's talk about the Jets. Oh, wait. We can't. We gotta talk about last.
Screw this smile onto my face before the show started.
34-24. Dallas falls to 3-2 on the season, and I think one of the most disappointing parts of it is it didn't feel like the Saints game to me, you guys. It felt like this one they gave away so many opportunities and chances. The Saints game was close. This one, it's like it could have been close, and then they tricked you because it was close at the end. Yeah. Can somebody make sense of this for me?
I don't think it was. It was kind of close a little bit at the end, but I mean the Packers had this game well in hand throughout the whole game. The running attack for me was, that was surprising. I thought they kind of fixed all the holes and gap responsibilities with this defense, but it was rough. It was rough going.
Yeah, I felt like this team just dug themselves into a deep hole and they could not get out. You look at the 5 possessions in the first half, and it was interception, punt, interception, punt.
Nice dramatic
missed
rating there.
Field goal.
That's good. I like that. It's hard to say they didn't get outplayed, considering they were down by 28 points, but like it all just felt so self-inflicted, man. Like
100%.
The Saints outplayed them in the sense like they couldn't run the ball, there were no open receivers. They have 560 yards of offense yesterday, guys. Like they didn't play poorly in the sense of like moving the ball. They just couldn't get out of their own freaking way.
Negate all of that when you intercept the football.
You lose games like -3 in turnover differential in the NFL. Are we kidding here?
Let's get into that in a second. We have
to
first hit on the Redskins news that Jay Gruden was fired.
How about some perspective?
They're going 0-5.
That's nice. Although, I bet if we polled Cowboys fans, they'd probably have something snarky to say about maybe that's not such a terrible idea. Like these are. I'm just saying these are the types of things that happen after losses. But
he headed to Oakland.
Yeah,
0-5 start.
Ooh, assistant.
Is this all part of the plan?
Yeah.
Typically, when coaches get fired this early in the season, they head off to. Marvin Lewis, Hugh Jackson went and worked for Cincinnati last year. So
this is true.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's on a sideline.
Well, now it's Bill Callahan, who was with the Cowboys for 2 years. You knew him.
I was there with him.
Brian likes to call him Running Game Moses. So the only people who should be happy right now are Adrian Peterson and Chris Thompson.
Well, at least we don't have to worry about him until December 29th.
True that.
Yes,
wow.
Yeah, that's a long wait.
All right.
What a rough start. Rough start, Washington. Sorry about it.
Let's throw us some game highlights. Let's just go through these. What we saw yesterday from Dak Prescott. There were some great throws, like you said, Dave. This, Amari Cooper said this is what changed the game, and he couldn't get it out of his head all night.
I hate when fans say that because, like, it happened on the 7th play of the game, the Cowboys' 4th play of the game, but at the same time, I think it's true.
No, it was
like,
true.
If he catches that ball, it's either a touchdown or they're scoring 2 or 3 plays later. The way they were rolling changed the whole complexion of the game.
What happened there, Barry?
He didn't even see the underneath defender right there. He did a great job of kind of sloughing off and getting that pick. Then the disrespect right here.
Bye-bye wave.
Bye-bye wave.
I've never seen a Cowboy. They climbed off the mat, good for them, but I've never seen a Cowboys team get dominated like this at home. Like, even games that they've lost big before, it's been tight up until like the third quarter. Not so much here.
I just cannot wrap my brain around what was going on with the Cowboys' run defense. It was the Packers. It was Aaron Jones. He set a record 4 touchdowns. I guess we got to talk about this though. Jason Garrett. Let's actually get to that in a second. Stick with the run defense with me. Were you guys expecting that?
No, not at all.
When I heard Aaron Jones' name last week, I wasn't surprised to see this performance. In 2017, he had 125 yards against this defense. Now, you were expecting this front 7 to be better. You were expecting Robert Quinn and DeMarcus Lawrence to be better, but they watched the playoff film last year against the Rams where DeMarcus Lawrence was completely stopped. They weren't able to do anything. Yeah. And that's what this Packers blueprint was.
It breaks
the Rams playoff
game.
It
breaks my heart that Cooper touchdown is just going to be an afterthought.
How many yards? 226?
226 yards. Literally press the B button or the circle button, depending on what console you're looking at. It was incredible.
This was the F button.
My boy.
Yeah, just to make sure we knew that like all 3 facets of the team had a bad day. We ended it with a missed 33-yarder, something we saw all through training camp. Brett Maher.
Very easable.
Hard to feel a ton of confidence.
And then Coach Garrett says that there's no faith lost in him today on 105.3 The Fan.
As a former player, I'd be kind of upset at the kid.
All right, let's check in with Dak Prescott and company post game to get their thoughts on how it all went down.
Yeah, I mean, a team that's got to get better and got to start fast on offense. Got to play better complementary football than we have these last two weeks. And but there's a lot of football to be played. Definitely a lot of football to be played. A lot of plays to be made, and we're not shy of making them. We're not backing down. As I said, we'll take this one on the chin. We're gonna take the good, take the bad. We're gonna learn from it, and hopefully we'll look back at this and say this was a turning point, or this was good for us.
You know, the only thing that's really on my mind is the drop ball and the turnover it created. I feel like it gave them a lot of momentum in the game. Felt like I had it. It was an easy catch. Took my eyes off of it because I was focused on the touchdown. And I dropped it, and it created a turnover.
On that last miss, was the exchange and process, everything okay, the snap and everything?
Everything was fine. Yeah, personnel P did a great job like they always did, and I didn't do my part.
Did you feel like you hit it well? What happened? Talk me through it.
Felt like I pushed it a little bit.
All right, just a weird game all around. I think that's the best way to describe it. If Jason Garrett gets a flag for, what was it, offensive language?
Abusive language.
Oh,
on the football field.
Jerry Jones' response to that was, Dave?
I hope the little darling didn't hear anything he'd never heard before, which, yeah.
Good accent.
Yeah, it wasn't my best.
So Jason Garrett on the radio this morning cleared this up. He said, the reason I was so angry is because all of us on the sideline saw Amari's foot clearly in. So why didn't he see it? Why did he make me waste yet another flag? We all saw it happen, so that's why he was upset.
I hate blaming refs because the Cowboys did plenty of damage.
Yes, they did.
The refs were atrocious in this game.
Thank you, David.
They-
Both ways.
All over the place. Like, was it in the fourth quarter where they just like picked up 2 flags and they were like, wait, that wasn't actually a penalty. Our bad. Like,
take it
my
back.
God.
The last interception, I mean, I hate to like give Dak a cop out. The first throw was not good to Amari Cooper that we saw, but the next one where Michael Gallup got pretty much manhandled and thrown
Oh,
in his lap,
man. Yeah.
well, I mean, they had no flags to throw anymore because of this shenanigans.
Ironically, like Jason Garrett picks up a 15-yard penalty, but like Cowboys fans were about it. Like they were
Kellen
like,
Moore had to be held back.
get mad, Jason.
Kellen was
Show
like,
the emotion.
That
That was just, and then Dak gets the wheel route to Zeke on the very next play. Just like ball don't lie. I love it.
Ball don't lie.
Talk to me about slow starts, Barry, just from a player perspective.
From a player, I mean, it's hard to overcome slow starts, especially when you have it in all 3 phases. You know, offense, defense, and special teams out there kind of starting slow. But this happened to us in the playoffs in 16. I mean, we started out slow. Aaron put up 28 on us real quick, and our offense did come back, but I mean, it was just a little bit too late. So,
can you pinpoint a reason why? Like, especially when it's the whole team. Like, what's going on here? Like, why?
that's tough because it ain't like it was a Miami game or anything like that where this is a game it's not hard to get up for us. The Packers is 3-1 versus 3-1 NFC, but
It's not even a noon game.
it's not even a noon game, so it's hard to
game of the
pinpoint
week.
that one. Yeah,
I'm legitimately curious. Like, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but in a situation like this, like, is it on coaching that everybody looked so unprepared, or is it on the players like, hey, you got to get out there and do what you're supposed to do?
I think it's got to be on the players on that one. I mean, yeah, that first pass was bad, but Amari got to catch that one. I mean, and Dak's been throwing some, kind of bad interceptions, but I mean, it's on the players on this one.
I've been debating this in my head since the game ended. Is like, people seem to be mad at Jason Garrett, and I'm like, the players were on the field in the position to make the plays and didn't do it.
When you have the ball, you need to keep the ball. When the time of possession is nearly the same as last week, and it's 36 minutes for the Packers, 23 minutes for the Cowboys, that's never going to be a recipe for success. You have to keep the football. You have to keep feeding Zeke. When he has 12 carries for 62 yards, but he's averaging over 6 yards per carry.
Yeah, he was running.
But you're behind so much, you can't do anything.
All right, let's hear from the defense. Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch both looked out of character. Barry, we'll get more from you on that next.
On the defensive side of the ball, we have standards, and we're 2-3 against our standards right now. So we have to go back and evaluate and figure out how we can grow as a team in the defense. It's the National Football League. Every week is a new week, and it's hard to win in this league. That's why, it comes down to the execution on game day.
Poor performance by me. I got to make plays. I got to make tackles. Simply put, just bad footwork and bad tackling. Those are tackles I shouldn't miss, and I'm going to focus on that this week in practice.
Yep.
You can tell Leighton doesn't even want to talk. He's disappointed. But from what you saw, Barry, especially from the linebackers against the run defense, it was so uncharacteristic of them.
Very much so. I mean, the gap responsibility out there, like I said before, Rod Marinelli's defense, everybody has a gap, everybody has a responsibility. And the gap control there to this game was pretty bad. I mean, you saw Aaron Jones just running up through the middle. His long touchdown run, I think it was like 35 yards, was straight up the gut, which is unheard of against this defense. And another thing was the angles. A lot of bad angles taken by the defense. You know, Aaron Jones outrunning the defense to the sidelines a lot of the time out there yesterday. So they got to get some things to fix on their defense.
I just felt like they never had a rhythm to their defense. And how important is cadence and rhythm to the defense?
Well, the way
it's very important.
You can talk more about this, Barry, but the way even Aaron Rodgers said this week, the Cowboys don't have like 340-pound guys up the middle. They do this thing by speed and quick movements. And when Aaron Rodgers gets to the line before you even get up off the ground, that's going to take away your whole defensive plan.
It fatigues you.
I'm just at a loss.
It fatigues you.
No disrespect intended to Aaron Jones. He's a hell of a player, but they did such a good job against Alvin Kamara a week ago. And then that.
You can say it. He's an average middle.
No, he's a good player, but if you can limit Kamara, you should be able to limit Aaron Jones. I don't understand.
Well, there was some fun had, believe it or not, at AT&T Stadium yesterday. Roll that footage. Show us who was in it. Like, is this just not, like, it makes you smile. What is going on?
That's the W the Cowboys had yesterday.
Wow, good line. When did you come up with that?
I saw it on a meme. Can't take credit for it. But, yes, it felt like a playoff game pregame with all the different celebrities out there. You know, the packed sidelines that the Cowboys have. Ellen DeGeneres and George W. Bush just chilling.
I feel like that's the ultimate, like, depending on who you are, like who you think is the bigger star there.
Barry, this is proof that no matter what team you go to, you're still friends. Like Jordy Nelson there to cost Kentucky jersey.
Oh yeah, if I was on the sidelines, I'd have a Lee jersey on.
I love it.
He stayed neutral with that.
Yeah, it's smart.
Gil Brandt there, a baller as always in his gold jacket, getting his ring from Jerry.
Gold jacket Gil.
He was just rocking a flip phone pregame, and I met his Twitter guy. Sadly, he doesn't send out his own tweets.
Oh, damn.
Breaking news.
I didn't, no offense, it's Gil Brandt. He's a Hall of Famer. I didn't realize he was a big enough deal to have a Twitter guy.
He has a Twitter guy.
Amazing.
That travels with him.
Unfortunately, I feel like you're not going to get the hype you probably want for a ceremony like that when the team's down 17-0 at half. But still, big time congrats to you, Gil.
Congrats,
All right,
Gil.
I got some high-low moments for you. So we got a segment called some good things happened, but, and then I want to hear how you feel.
The story of this entire game.
Exactly.
Cool.
So, Dallas had a 400-yard passer and 200-yard receivers. Like, that's huge.
Yep.
But season high, 3 turnovers.
Yeah, we said it already. When you're -3 in turnover differential, you're not going to win. Cooper said he didn't care about any of the yards half as much as he cared about the drop. Dak said he didn't care about anything he did as much as the 3 interceptions. You're not going to win that way. You're not.
Yeah.
You're just not.
And I told you about the Cowboys' first 5 possessions. Well, the Packers were punt, touchdown, punt, field goal. That's 17 points in the first 5 times you're carrying the ball. It makes a difference when you had 2 turnovers in yours.
Oh yeah, never gonna win a game. Losing the turnover battle. I think it was 3-0.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be rough to win those games, especially with the penalties as well. Green Bay played a good game.
Happy to see Michael Gallup hit the ground running again.
There you go, Dave.
I mean, if you're looking for silver
Give
linings,
us some positivity.
if you're looking for silver linings, it's that the Cowboys have 2 really, really, really good receivers.
Legit.
Yeah, Dallas finished with 120 total rushing yards, but Ezekiel Elliott only had 62 of them.
And this is one I couldn't really get a grasp of because, the guy was running good. He was falling forward. They got down early in the game, but I feel like it was early enough to keep the running game going. And they kind of just went away from it, and, it showed.
See, I disagree. You're down 3 scores at half, and it wasn't long after that you're down 31. They got all the way down to 31-3. Like, there's not a lot you can do with Zeke in that situation. I thought he played great. The run game was there for them while the game was still close. Unfortunately, that just didn't last for very long.
Yeah, the Dallas defense limited Green Bay to go 3 for 12 on 3rd down, but Packers were 4 of 5 in the red zone.
Red zone where it matters, and they had those running plays, and Aaron Jones had himself a day. The only running back to ever get 4 touchdowns against the Cowboys in a game.
Yeah, this one's rough. They did great on the money down, 3 of 12, but I mean, giving up 4 or 5 in the red zone, that's ugly. That's ugly right
In
there.
the Cowboys' first 5 trips, I mean, I think 4 of them, they were in range to get points and nothing out of it.
This is gonna sound crazy. Like, I mean, it's so much what if, and I get that, but like, if you're not -3 in turnover differential, if you can get some points early, the defense probably could have played well enough to win. Like 34 points with everything that went wrong. They buckled down later in the game. Like, there was stuff to like there, but it's just like the game got completely out of whack.
How do you buckle down in the first half?
That's
where
yes.
that matters. I mean,
that's where you need to be trading scores, honestly, because I always readjust my expectations when you're playing a guy like Aaron Rodgers. Like, you're not going to hold them to 12 points. You're probably just not going to do it.
I said it too many times yesterday.
You need to be
Aaron
trading
Rodgers will
points.
beat you when you have your perfect best day.
And
so if you give him
had
any more than that,
far from that today.
And if you don't make
even
them
have
one-dimensional.
Devontae Adams out there,
This
y'all.
is true.
The Packers only had 56 receiving yards, 2 wide receivers. That's wild. Tight ends, running backs, he found a way to do it. It was.
we're out of time for the day, but you better hope some good things happen in these next 2 weeks with the Jets and the Eagles before the bye, or this thing is going to look. Well, I wouldn't even
Quick
go
question.
there yet.
Yeah, geez, Lindsay
I'm
with the
just
big
saying,
picture
it
take.
was a self-inflicted
No, it was.
loss.
You're right.
Are the Jets a must-win?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Oh my God, yes.
All right.
Don't even talk about
Don't
that.
even
No,
talk. All right.
Don't touch
I'll be
that
asking you that,
You
Mary.
gave me a pit in my stomach.
All right, guys. Hopefully, helped you get through this day. You got Jason Garrett coming up later this afternoon. A bunch of podcasts. Dave will be on one. Barry's got you later this week, and we will see you guys again tomorrow, 9:20 a.m. for Tuesday here at the Star.